I want to get to this issue of tax cuts, and I think Progress actually put together this video that laid out what Republicans are saying and aren't saying when it comes to tax cuts. So I want to play that right now and get your reaction to it.
Excuse me, but do you have any proposals?
We've got spending to cut in the short term, and what we've got is a huge problem in the long term where we've got to get serious about it. You're absolutely right.
But we could get serious about it now. In other words, there's nothing preventing you from saying, I would propose that we cut 10 years out expenditures on Social Security by blank. You could do that today. You could put out a press release.
I don't think that.
Be specific. What in the government, what programs, what agencies are you going to cut?
I think when it comes to spending, we've been very specific about common sense steps that we can do to get government.
Give me one example.
How about the unspent stimulus money? Let's stop it. Let's stop it and bring it back. How about all the TARP funds? No more bailouts.
You're saying let's cut spending, but you weren't specific about where you would cut.
What are you going to cut? Discretionary spending. Anything that's not security, anything that's not entitlement.
Yeah. What is discretionary? Give us two or three items that are discretionary.
Yeah. You could go through every different program within government outside of entitlements, outside of national defense. That is discretionary spending that Congress has control over. That has gone over 88% in the last 2 years.
Name a painful choice that Republicans are prepared to say we have to make.
Well, first of all, we need to make sure that as we look at all that we are spending in Washington, D.C., with not only the entitlement spending, but also the bigger government, we cannot afford anymore. We have to empower the free enterprise system. See, this is where...
Congressman, these are not specific.
You got a kick out of that video.
You know, I'm just not sure that the president has proposed a 3-year non-defense, non-security discretionary freeze, and that's tough as it is. I don't know where they expect these cuts to come from. They're going to cut it from education, which means really just robbing from our future generations. We know that if we're going to grow this economy, we need to have very strong investments in education and training. I'm just not sure where these cuts are going to come from.
But is it a fair criticism that people are making that it's difficult when you talk about the increase of the deficit under the president with the various expenditures? We look at health care as well, but then at the same time the president is saying we're going to actually cut the deficit as well. The deficit, if you look at the various polling data, the deficit ranks second behind the issue of jobs. And so how do you confront a rising deficit while at the same time you have different spending programs that you want to also push through?
Those are not, it's a false choice. The reality is that if we can get the economy going so that we get the jobs back and we get back on a path of growth, that will bring down the deficit in and of itself. So yes, we need to get our fiscal house in order, but in the short term, what's most important and what is most important for our fiscal health is to grow the economy. That will help with our fiscal health as well. Are there hard choices to be made later on? Of course. And the president is very serious about that, which is why he created the Fiscal Commission, and he very much looks forward to the recommendations in December.